Success stories are often not just about the final achievements, but about the journey, the struggles, the setbacks, and the determination that ultimately led to success. Today, let's dive into some incredible stories that highlight just how powerful perseverance, passion, and grit can be. First, think about a young person with a dream. For many of us, we start with a vision, whether it's in sports, business, or something creative like music or writing. But what sets apart those who make it from those who give up? It's often the persistence to keep going when the odds are stacked against you. Let's take the story of a man named Steve. Steve was a high school dropout who struggled with depression, never feeling like he fit into the world. But he had one thing: a passion for technology. He spent his nights teaching himself programming and working on small side projects. At the time, his friends and family thought it was just a phase, that he would never make anything of himself. But Steve kept pushing. He worked tirelessly, learned from his mistakes, and kept creating. Eventually, his big break came when he landed a job at a small tech startup. Within a few years, he'd worked his way up the ladder. Fast forward to today, and Steve is the CEO of a successful tech company that changes how we interact with the world daily. That all began with a single decision: not to quit when the world doubted him. Now, let's shift gears to someone with a completely different path: Oprah Winfrey. Oprah's journey is a testament to the power of resilience and believing in your own worth. She came from an incredibly difficult background, raised in poverty and facing abuse. And for a while, the odds were against her. But Oprah knew one thing: she had a voice. And she wasn't going to let anything stop her from being heard. Early in her career, Oprah was fired from her job as a news anchor with the harsh feedback that she wasn't fit for TV. Imagine how devastating that must have been. Most people would have given up right there, but Oprah didn't. Instead, she took that setback, used it as fuel, and transformed it into a platform where she could truly make a difference. She started her own talk show, which became one of the most successful in television history. Oprah is now a billionaire, but her success is rooted in the belief that the challenges she faced were simply stepping stones towards something greater. Then there's the story of J.K. Rowling, who brought the magical world of Harry Potter to life. Before she became one of the wealthiest women in the world, J.K. Rowling was a single mother living on welfare. She was rejected by 12 different publishers before one decided to take a chance on her book. Think about that for a second. 12 rejections. That could have crushed anyone's spirit, but Rowling was determined. She believed in her story and knew that one yes would change everything. Today, her Harry Potter series has sold over 500 million copies worldwide and is a cultural phenomenon. The story of Thomas Edison is another shining example. Edison is remembered for his countless inventions, but what many don't realize is that he failed thousands of times before he found success. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset of seeing failure as a learning opportunity is what made him one of the most successful inventors of all time. Edison didn't see setbacks as reasons to quit. He saw them as part of the process. He kept experimenting, kept adjusting his approach, until he eventually created the electric light bulb. Imagine a world without light bulbs. Imagine how different our lives would be. His ability to keep going in the face of failure is a massive part of why his success story resonates with so many people. Success is rarely about avoiding failure. It's about how you handle it. Let's talk about Michael Jordan. He's considered one of the greatest basketball players in history. But early on, he was cut from his high school basketball team. Yes, Michael Jordan, the legend. He didn't let that rejection define him. Instead, it became a motivation to improve and prove everyone wrong. Jordan's story teaches us an important lesson. Rejection is not the end. It's just the beginning of your growth, your journey to greatness. What makes Jordan a success isn't just his basketball skill, but his relentless drive and ability to use failure as motivation. One final story I want to share is that of Walt Disney. We all know the Disney brand today, but in the early stages of his career, Walt Disney faced tremendous obstacles. He was fired from a newspaper job for not being creative enough, and his first animation company went bankrupt. Imagine how discouraging that must have been. But Walt Disney didn't give up. He kept pursuing his dreams, and eventually, he created Disneyland and turned Disney into one of the most influential entertainment companies in the world. His belief in his ideas, even when everyone else doubted him, is what led to his success. These stories all have something in common. They prove that success is not defined by your starting point. It's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. It's about the courage to continue when the road gets tough and when others say you can't do it. Everyone has their own unique story, their own path to success, and you don't have to follow anyone else's blueprint to achieve greatness. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen without challenges. But if you keep working, keep pushing forward, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself, you'll find your way there. Remember, every setback is an opportunity for a comeback. Your journey is yours to create, and just like Steve, Oprah, J.K. Rowling, Edison, Jordan, and Walt Disney, you have the power to turn your dreams into reality. The only thing standing in your way is you. So go ahead, keep pushing. Your success story is waiting to be written.